Welcome to 10 Minutes with Tony Scott. My name is Tony Scott, and this is our weekly show that we talk about Minnesota youth hockey. Today's sponsor is Tommy Chicago's Pizzeria in Mendota Heights. They're located off of Dodd Road and Highway 10 in Mendota Heights. If you live nearby, you gotta try it. It's great pizza. My favorite pizza is the deep dish. If you're in the area for a game or a tournament, bring your team. It's a great place for a team pizza party. My favorite part about Tommy's is their catering. They can bring in, they basically can bring a pizza party right to your location, whether it's to a rink or or somebody's house. It's a great place to get some catering. Check out Tommy Chicago's online at tommy-chicagos.com. Hockey Helpers. Each year, YHH teams with the Sandwich Project to help their organization load up with sandwich numbers for the busy winter season. Last year, over 50 teams came to a local church and made nearly 10,000 sandwiches for nearby homeless shelters and food shelves. The event this year will be held at Christ Presbyterian Church in Edina on December 13. There's a story on YHH this week with more info on how you can get involved with the Sandwich Project, at thesandwichprojectmn.org, or to learn more about their Hockey Helpers program. Blue Ox, what a great tournament we had last year in Brainerd for the Blue Ox. This weekend looks to be just as good or better. We will have the guys from overtheboards.net up at the event to follow our event and to keep us intact, keep their readers and our readers in touch with the top Minnesota Bantams coming out this year. There's also 17 scouts already signed up to be at the event in Brainerd. We're excited to host them as well. My prediction for a winner looks almost as tough as picking the pumpkin a couple weeks ago. Since the hat didn't work, I'm going to go to an even more scientific method. It's called Chester the Pick Monkey. This little guy claims he can pick better than I can, so he went online and made his pick, did some research and made his pick. He hurried over to my office yesterday, and here is his pick. Chester picks Minnetonka. Good pick, Chester. I can appreciate that. The Skippers are undefeated, and they would have probably been my pick as well, which means you've probably been reading YHH a lot lately. Either that or Centennial. I think that's another great team coming from District 10 this year. I think either one of those teams would be a great pick. That said, the stock of Sibley just went through the roof after they knocked off the Cougars from Centennial 6-5 last weekend. Watch out, OMG, that's your first round opponent. That'll be a good test. Speaking of another good games up at the Blue Ox, Jefferson looks strong in their win over Eden Prairie Friday night. Their game with Moorhead should be a great one in the Civic Center live on YHH. Speaking of Friday, we'll be interviewing a coach and a player at our Friday night banquet. The banquet should be a fun time for players and families. We'll have a live band playing, a youth group playing some rock music for us. We'll have the interviews, of course, and a couple other surprises, including some great prize giveaways at the event. Thanks again to Brainerd Amateur Hockey Association and Craigens for being such great hosts for us again this year for the Blue Ox. Top 50 2000 birth years. As the Bantam season kicks off, we will launch our annual Top 50 WHL Bantam draft list this week. The list will include both 8th and 9th grade skaters and goalies that the WHL should be looking at as they head into their draft next spring. In early May of 2015, several of the top Minnesota 2000 birth year kids will be drafted by the WHL. Several from our list this fall and next spring will make their draft. Now Prospects. Speaking of top players, paid subscribers will be able to see more and more content added to our Now Prospect list for graduating classes 2017, 18, and 19 these days. We'll also be announcing new members to Now Prospects after the high school teams name their teams. Now Prospects will slowly become a very active portal on YHH. Speaking of high school tryouts, this is one of the most interesting weeks of the season. Some Bantams will take a shot at varsity this week. Some will make it, some won't. I'm guessing every situation will likely have a happy ending. Last year, 3 kids stayed back at Bantams and flourished. Well documented on YHH is the story of Casey Middlestad, who went on to be our Bantam Player of the Year, had a great summer and a great fall in the Elite League, and subsequently got a scholarship offer before playing a high school game by the University of Minnesota, and he accepted. 2 others that played Bantams last year that had great seasons were Brady Tatro from Bemidji and Scott Perunovich from Hibbing. They were also selected last summer to play at the national camp in New York after a winter in Bantams. In fairness, there's some great success stories of kids who skip Bantams as well. 98 birth year Brian Hurley from St. Thomas Academy skated with the Cadets last year instead of Bantams, and he was subsequently drafted by the Fargo Force of the USHL. Brian is also playing some impressive hockey these days and was allowed to play in a game this fall as an affiliate player with the Force as a 10th grader. It's going to be a deep squirt year this year. We've got a lot of chance to see a lot of great squirt hockey in the past few weeks. First of all, we had our squirt tryouts for our show tryouts in St. Cloud. That produced a whole bunch of outstanding kids from all over Minnesota. We also saw some great players last weekend at the District 8 Squirt A preview. One of the teams that really stood out to me was Woodbury. They have a host of talent on all sides of the ice. Great defensemen, great forwards, and an outstanding goaltender. They should be a top team in Minnesota. Other teams that stood out to us were both the Lakeville teams. They're stacked as well. What makes this season so much fun to watch will be all of the teams from all over the Twin Cities that we haven't seen so much in the last few years. An example, Prior Lake, Eden Prairie, Andover. These will be outstanding squirt teams. And of course, you always have to throw in Edina has two great squirt teams. But a team that's going to really jump out at you this year will be Hudson, Wisconsin. They've already scared up a few teams in Minnesota. They'll be in our YHH rankings, and they should be another really fun team to watch this season. So keep an eye out for Hudson, Wisconsin. Lastly, thumbs up. I just talked about it, the Squirt A preview that District 8 puts on. What an outstanding idea. They have teams come in. Everyone plays about 4 or 5 mini 30-minute games in squirt hockey. Great chance for teams to see where they stand early in the season. It doesn't go against their game count. It's a great idea. More districts out there in the metro and even in the outstate should take a look at what District 8 is doing for their District 8 Squirt preview. So thumbs up to District 8 for being on the cutting edge with that great event they had last Saturday. Thanks for everyone for tuning in this week to 10 Minutes with Tony Scott. We're looking forward to seeing everybody up at the rink in Brainerd this weekend. It's going to be a great event. We have 13 games broadcasted on the site. It's going to be awesome. See you at the rink.